You make mistakes when you go too fast, when you're in a rush, when you're tired, you make mistakes. In the dark, you make mistakes, at least we do. But those 15 minutes you take may save you thousands of dollars and many hours of heartache.
Hey guys, it's MJ and Izzy from Endless RVing. You're really going to want to watch today's video because we are going to talk about the dumbest RV mistakes we have made along the way, some which could have been really bad and some that cost us a lot of money.
But before we get to that, this video is sponsored by Liquid Spring. Now, if you're looking for the best suspension upgrade for your Class A, B, C, or Super C motorhome, Liquid Spring is the answer.
For our viewers and subscribers, you can save $750 off a new Liquid Spring system by using the code RIDEENDLESSLY.
Now, we have a 4-corner Liquid Spring suspension on our motorhome. It's outstanding. We encourage you to go out and test drive one of Liquid Spring's demo units. How are you going to do that? Well, we're going to link below where those demo units are going to be and what dates are going to be there. Also, the number for Wayne Wells from Liquid Spring will be there, and you can call him and he will be happy to answer any of your questions. So again, if you're looking for the very best suspension upgrade, look no further than Liquid Spring. All right, so we have now been RVing for what, like this is our 4th season? So we're still kind of new, but not that new. But we made a lot of mistakes, like MJ said. So the first one that we made, that was a little bit costly, and we did a video on it. We'll link it above. This mirror had a fight with a toll booth in Ohio and did not win. Now, I was driving, so I will take the blame for this, even though MJ should have been watching.
Oh my God.
The toll booth was a little narrow and I was going a little fast, and this is what happened. We took it off. Easy fix, we did fix it. What's the solution? Well, besides spending 300 bucks to get a new mirror and have it painted, now what we do is, if there's a toll booth and I know it's somewhat narrow, literally I crawl. It's
a snail's pace.
It's 1 mile per hour. MJ is looking, and everybody behind us can wait because I'm not doing it again. Luckily, we had cameras, and that's kind of how we hobbled back after I cut the mirror off on the side of the road. We hobbled back with the camera. So that was one big mistake. We definitely won't do it again. So the lesson that we took away from this, number 1, have a spotter if you can. Number 2, take your time. All right, the second thing, and this one was kind of gross, but I'm sure it's happened to other people. A lot of these have to do with rushing and not taking your time. That's going to be the continuing factor you're going to see here. So the second one was, we had dumped our tanks and I had put the cap back on, but what I didn't do, what I failed to do, was close the black tank valve. So the next time when I went to, on a new trip, when I went to open this cap up to hook up the sewer hose, well, you can guess what happened. So
You took a dirt bath.
luckily there wasn't that much stuff in there, thankfully. But what have we learned from that? Well, I double and triple check now to make sure those valves are closed, both before I open it and when I'm done dumping. It's a full walkthrough process that we do now. So number 2, leaving the black tank valve open and then capping it. All right, so a lot of this video involves my screw-ups. MJ will be filming, but she does have her screw-ups here also, so it's,
I think I have one of the 8.
Yeah, well, we know why. Anyway, so the third thing is, we don't have our Jayco travel trailer anymore, but we can kind of reenact it with our regular trailer. So this happened, we actually had our trailer at the repair center, and again, we were in a rush because I came from work, I went to hook up the trailer because it was done and we were gonna go camping, and I was rushing. So what happened was, I pulled up my truck, hooked up the trailer, all good. The trailer, as you know, they have tongue jacks. Now, we had a power tongue jack. Of course, the jack was down because I was hooked up, but I didn't put that jack back up. And I quickly realized, as soon as I started pulling forward and heard a horrid noise, that I had ruined my power tongue jack. So the bottom part just got twisted up. I had to come back home. I had to unhook, come back home, get the Sawzall, cut it out. There was no way I can get it out before I could unbolt it. Order a new one on Amazon. Tell the repair center that it was going to be there for a couple days. Go back. It was just a whole thing. I wound up getting it fixed. I think it was only like a $200 mistake, but it was really annoying because we wound up like being late to where we were going to be anyway.
But so, again, the fix is
slow down, double check, triple check everything, which we do now. We haven't had a screw up in a while.
No, we have
Although
not.
Maybe we'll have one this weekend.
All right, so number 4 was
MJ's fault.
I guess my fault, but we could both be at blame here. So we were in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we went to pick up our rental car, which they wound up not having, and it was this whole mess, and we were really pissed off. So we left there to head to the Enterprise to get a car, and all of a sudden we're driving and we hear, it's just this scraping and horrible sounding noise. And we look and our steps were out as we were driving. So obviously we stopped. Thank God it really wasn't that bad.
There was no damage. No, it just the step cover got caught.
Yeah, we were very, very lucky. So from now on, anytime we move forward, I double check, triple check, okay? If Izzy's alone or whatever, who's ever driving and with them, we're gonna check twice, 3 times. So please, please make sure you do that, because if there were rocks or something, it could have been way, way worse. So number 4, always make sure your steps are up.
All right, number 5 doesn't really have to do too much with damage to the RV. However, it still costs us a bunch of money, and I keep doing this one.
This we haven't learned yet.
This I haven't learned. Hopefully this winter I will. So number 5 is going to be leaving your pressure regulator connected to your water source when you go to a campground. Now this has happened at least once, definitely in Fort Wilderness that happened to us. We left it. And these aren't cheap. These are like $30 to $40 because we get the one with the little valve on it and, you know, looks kind of cool. But a more important one, that this is the one I haven't picked up on. These don't do well when you leave them in your RV over the winter. They do retain water in them, and I guess when it freezes, it doesn't like that. And then what happens is this little valve no longer works, and then I have to buy a new one. So this is probably our 4th or 5th one that we've had. I'm gonna hope this season that I don't do that again, although I can't promise that.
I will help you remember.
A lot of this could be resolved if we just had a checklist, but I checklist in my mind. So number 5, make sure you check for all your equipment before you leave your campground. Number 6 is I broke off the sewer door. Again, this was done because we were in a rush. This was after driving 18 hours to Savannah, Georgia. We pulled in, it was pitch dark. I wanted to get hooked up quickly, and this is what happened. Open the sewer door, pull out the sewer hose, hooked up, forget about it, hook up the water, go to close everything. It's pitch dark, I can't see anything, but I can hear crack. And that was the end of the sewer door, which we kind of had to piece back on through our rest of our trip through Florida, Virginia Beach. This part, I don't know how much, this was probably $100, and then I had to pay to get it painted. Actually, no, I painted it.
You painted
I did paint it, but it's still a huge pain. So it's just something that could have been avoided. So now I make sure, again, a full scan through everything before I do anything. Happened once, didn't happen again. So number 6, broken sewer door.
All right, number 7. This is a pretty common one. I'm sure I'm not the only one that did this. This is one of the very few mistakes that I've made. When the slides are out, before you bring everything in, you have to make sure that there are no obstructions in the way. And this almost was really, really bad. I actually saved it right at the last minute. So I started bringing the slide in, and the captain's chair was actually back a lot further than it is right now. And literally within millimeters, I caught it, and it could have been really, really bad. From now on, actually now, whenever I bring the slides in, I check here, I check on the other side, the opposing part, and I'm always making double and triply sure that there are no obstructions in the way of any slide that's moving in. So number 7, always check your slides for obstructions before you bring them in.
Also in ours, we also have a cabinet, that those cabinet doors in the back, that they have to be closed, so they're all glass, those will go down. And then more important, stuff on the floor, especially if you have kids, that will destroy the rollers.
Oh, I thought you meant don't run over the kids with
the dog bones and all that stuff.
Anything.
You just check.
But again, it follows a theme of take your time.
All right, so the last one, and I know this is common because we've been to campgrounds where they have signs that they tell you to do this before you leave. So I know this happens a lot. So if you have the over-the-air antennas, the one that you can kind of crank up and crank down, we don't use this antenna. I don't think we've ever used it, but it's here. And I had cranked it up to clean the roof, because if you don't know, they kind of, it's like those batwing antennas, and they lie flat, and then anything under that you really can't get at to clean the roof. So had it up, cleaned the roof, forgot it was up. A couple days later, we go to pull out, and hand crank, it gets caught on the cable line and destroys the mast. Thankfully, these are pretty easy to replace. They're almost made like they're breakable. They break off easily.
I guess I know people forget all the
Yeah,
time.
so it's a pretty easy thing to fix. I think it was Weingart. I'm not sure what the company was, but I was able to fix it pretty quickly. That was like a $50 mistake. I wish they would just get rid of these and just put something else up there, but that's the last one. Make sure you check your antenna. So what has been the result of these life lessons, right? Or these RV life lessons?
Well, a lot of F-bombs, first of all,
Yes.
from you.
Yes, I get very angry when things...
Yes, and just thank God I wasn't the culprit in most of these because then I would have had to hear it.
So what have we learned? So number one, slow down. You make mistakes when you go too fast, when you're in a rush, when you're tired, you make mistakes. In the dark, you make mistakes. At least we do. We're not gonna say you, we do.
Yep.
Second thing is check one time, check 2 times, check 3 times, have your partner check.
Yeah.
Now when we leave, MJ does a full interior check. I do an exterior check. I come in and do an interior check. Before we pull out, I tell her, go look around, make sure there's not, maybe I missed something. I go on the roof. I mean, it's a process, but I mean, it really doesn't take that long. It's maybe 15 minutes. But those 15 minutes you take may save you thousands of dollars and many hours of heartache.
Right, if we got all the money back that we blew fixing all these things, we could get some nice
Well, I think
stuff.
the most expensive one was the
mirror.
The mirror is like $300.
Yeah, but then you throw everything else in. The 5 pressure regulators.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true. So in the comments below, we know we're not the only ones out there.
Spill it.
Let us know what are your dumbest blunders, RV mistakes, things that you look back and you're like, wow, that was really dumb. We should probably, well, we learned from it.
Yeah.
So put it in the comments below. And for myself and MJ, we thank you guys for watching and we'll see you on the road.